Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the King of the Dwarves quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements. You must have completed the prequel quest, which is Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf, and you also need to have completed My Arm's Big Adventure. You'll also need the following skills, none of which can be boosted: 68 mining, 70 smithing and 77 strength. And you're going to also need to defeat a level 84 Colonel Grimsson. That's it for requirements. Onto the items. You're going to want 6 soft clay and 6 mithril bars, and the only items recommended is a good crush weapon such as a dragon mace or particularly like a rune pickaxe, but crush weapon's going to be your best approach for this. But that's it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So I'm currently near the mine carts in Keldagrim, which can be accessed, and most of you should know this by now after doing the previous quest. If you go to the Grand Exchange, you can use the trapdoor to take a travel cart straight through to Keldagrim to get easy access. And then from here we need to go speak to Lava Flow Miner Sven, who will be standing outside the Lava Flow Mine in East Keldagrim. So, when you find him, tell him that you'd like a tour of the mines and the quest will be started, and a cutscene will take place in which Foreman Jack will show you around the lava flow mine and explain a little bit until he spots an odd person who's not meant to be there. This cloaked figure will turn around revealing to be a Chaos Dwarf and commit suicide, after which the boilers of the mine are seriously damaged and the ceiling collapses. You want to speak to Jark, who is standing near the entrance, who will tell you to rescue the lava flow miners who've been hit by rocks, and 1 free inventory space will be required to pick up each of the miners, and each must be handed over before rescuing another one. So in order to save the miners, you'll need to mine the smaller, lighter coloured piles of rubble in order to reach them, as there'll be certain parts that your pickaxe will not break through, and it will come with a message saying so if you are trying to mine the wrong piece. Upon reaching a miner, you want to free the dwarf from the rubble and then take him back to Foreman Jack. And then you want to keep repeating this process until you've got through all the dwarves. After 2 of the dwarves have been freed, a Blackguard squad will appear on the scene, but they'll place the state of the damaged equipment at a higher priority than the injured miners at order of the Consortium. You then want to rescue the remaining 4 miners from the rubble and then exit the mine. 2 will have died, 2 will be unconscious. Talk to Jark after rescuing them all and he will thank you and send you outside. Outside the mine there will be a crowd of protesters led by Veldaban demonstrating against the Consortium, and after talking to Veldaban about what transpired inside the mine, a Blackguard soldier will arrive and arrest Veldaban as the Consortium suspects that he was involved with the explosion. The guard will take him to the top floor of the palace, and you want to head to the top floor of the palace now in the middle of Keldagrim, and you want to go and find the directors to convince them that Veldaban was not involved with the incident. So when you've got upstairs, you want to speak to Veldaban and ask him why he's so angry and tell him to calm down or the directors will not release him. Talk to the Blue Opal director and select Tell me more about the lava flow mine and respond with So the Chaos Dwarf blew up the secondary boilers. Talk to the Green Gemstone director and select I was there when the explosion happened, then tell him I rescued some of the miners. Tell the Brown Engine director what did you want to do about the miners and answer with it was a difficult decision, I understand. Talk to the Yellow Fortune director and select why did you arrest Veldaban, then tell her Veldaban's popular, arresting him makes you look worse. Once you've finished talking to all of the directors and Veldaban, you want to talk to the Consortium General Secretary, tell him you've talked to everyone and that you need to talk to, and a cutscene will commence. So the directors will agree to free Veldaban into your care, but just as they do so, another blackguard will interrupt the meeting. He will tell you that protesters are gathering outside the palace walls demanding a king to be put into power, and that also Colonel Grenda and her 1st Division have been sent to the caves of Barondir to ward off an army of Chaos Dwarfs. So now that Veldaban has been released into your care, he'll follow you around the city like a familiar would. If you should somehow lose him, he'll be waiting for you at the Laughing Miner pub located in East Keldagrim. Take Veldaban with you to the crowd of protesters and talk to Harimdmar, however you pronounce that, who is leading the protest. He will have the crowd eating out of his hand, with all the protesters energetically agreeing to everything he says. Veldaban will suggest you find Make, who is the leader of the Monarchist Society. Talk to one of the protesters and ask them where Make is, and they will respond saying they don't know, but she's usually at the King's Axe Inn, just south of the bank in Keldagrim West Side. So head to the pub in the Keldagrim West Side and talk to Lutger, who is sitting in the pub by himself. He will say he doesn't know where Make is either. Ask him why he didn't join the protest, and he will say he got cold feet when the revolution actually started, especially since he heard a protester was arrested. Veldaban will suggest you check in the Blackguard headquarters to see if Make was one of the ones arrested. So go to the Blackguard HQ, which is located north of the pub, and you'll find that Class was the dwarf that was arrested. Talk to him and ask where Make is, but he'll refuse to reveal her location. Veldaban will step in and intimidate and threaten the dwarf into telling you where she's hiding, and he will tell you she's at the top of the tower where you killed the Chaos Dwarf in Forgiveness. He will tell you that she's at the top of the tower where you killed the Hand Cannoner in the Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf quest, and it's located just south of the Western Palace and southeast of the Stonemasons. So we're going to head there now. So she'll be standing alone at the top of the tower. Talk to her and ask why she's not participating in the protest, and she will reveal she doesn't know what to do, because if the revolt succeeds, Harimdmar will become the new king, as he claims to be descendant of King Alvis. Suggest that you go to the records chamber first to find out if he truly is the successor, and Make will offer to help. She will tell you that you need the keys to the chamber, which you might be able to make duplicates of from the library. Make and Veldaban will leave, telling you to meet when you're ready in the library, which is located northeast of the bank near the river. And this will be the part where you need your 6 pieces of soft clay and 6 Mithril Bars. So once you're ready, proceed to the library and talk to Make and Veldaban. Make will tell you to talk to the librarian about unlocking the display case. So ask the librarian to open the case and he will give you a Keldagrim library key. Unlock the cabinet and try to take the keys, but the librarian will stop you. Neither will he allow you to use the soft clay on the keys. So Make will suggest that you give her the clay so she can make moulds while you distract the librarian. Use the soft clay on her and then talk to the librarian. So talk to the librarian and go through the dialogue, and when you're finished, return to Make, who will have successfully made clay moulds of the 6 keys. She will give you 6 moulds, telling you to make mithril copies in a furnace. However, there's no suitable furnaces in Keldagrim, so an outside furnace will have to be used. The quickest one I'd recommend going to is if you teleport to the Edgefield Lodestone. You've got the Edgefield furnace just nearby to there, and then this allows for an easy return to Keldagrim via the Grand Exchange minecarts. So once you've made your keys, you want to return to Keldagrim and then go to the entrance of the archives, which can be located west of the Blackguard headquarters, and then speak to either Make or Veldaban. So they will tell you that the symbols on the keyholes have worn away over time, and you'll have to figure out which key goes where. There are 6 keyholes to match the 6 keys that you have. Now it's the same solution for every player, so from the southernmost keyhole to the northernmost keyhole it is keys 5, 1, 4, 6, 3, 2 in that order. So from south to north, 5, 1, 4, 6, 3 and 2. After all of the keys are in the correct keyhole, open the door, and as the door opens and reveals the records chamber, she'll exclaim that she never thought she'd live to see the chamber, and during the cutscene it will be revealed that Heinzmar, or how you bloody pronounce that name, is truly heir to the throne. Should the Consortium yield to the protesters and reinstate a king, him and his Chaos Dwarf army would take over Keldgrim. Make will offer to alter the records to make it look like that Heinzmar is not the rightful heir. After a short talk with Make, they will then suggest that you find a way to deal with the Chaos Dwarf army while she looks for a rule to potentially disqualify him from the throne. So when you're ready and stocked up, you want to talk to Veldaban and ask him to lead you to the Barondir Caves. So when there, you want to enter the tunnel and talk to Colonel Grender, who will describe the huge army. You must now proceed through the tunnel, and at some point there will be a side tunnel, but ignore it for now. And at the end of the tunnel you encounter Colonel Grimsson and some of his lackeys. Talk to him. When you first meet him, Veldaban will try to make peace, but he will mock him for the loss of his girlfriend Hilda. And from his dialogue, Veldaban will realise that Grimsson himself has been brainwashed by the Red Axe. This will then make Grimsson very angry and start to attack Veldaban, who attacks with an adamant warhammer. So when the Colonel is attacked by you, he'll start attacking you using range and melee attacks. His attacks do not have a very good accuracy, but when they do occasionally hit, they'll deal about 200 damage. Now, if you brought a crush style weapon with you, that'll be the quickest way to dispatch the Colonel, as he's weak against crush style attacks. And to be honest, he shouldn't be a problem for most of you. It's only if you have a very low combat level you're going to struggle. But to be honest, with the quest requirements where they are, that's not really going to be the case. So after he's been defeated, he'll retreat, try to enter the tunnel through which he fled to see the colossal army, and then talk to Veldaban on what to do next. Speak to Veldaban and suggest that you get reinforcements, and tell him that perhaps the trolls should become involved in the fight, and after a short discussion you'll go to the trolls for help without Veldaban. So head back halfway through the caves until you come to an entrance on the east side, go through and find yourself in a small troll settlement and speak to Pretty Flower in the middle, who will ignore you, saying you're not worthy enough to talk to him. Ask him how you can prove your worth, and he will tell you must be strong enough to lift the big rock. There is a big rock in the room near the wall, and you'll want to click to lift it, which is what the strength requirement is. If you have 90 strength or more, however, you'll carry the rock away and keep it in your inventory, and this can be done at any time after the quest as well. After you lift the rock, Pretty Flower will tell you that he wanted you to lift the troll named Big Rock. So pick the troll up who was walking around, and Big Rock will exclaim that he didn't think any human could possibly pick him up. And then Pretty Flower agreed to talk to you. So talk to him about the Chaos Dwarfs, but he'll still refuse to take part in the fight no matter what option you pick. So you want to speak to My Arm, who is standing in the corner, and will tell you how to get Pretty Flower to listen to you after a slightly confusing conversation with My Arm concerning Pretty Flower and Pretty Flowers. So ask My Arm to give you a Pretty Flower so that you can give it to Pretty Flower, and he'll agree. Talk to Pretty Flower the troll, and then give him the Pretty Flower that My Arm gave to you. Tell him it's a gift from Colonel Grimsson, and he'll become enraged that Grimsson makes fun of his name, now wanting to crush him like a tiny insect. He'll agree to then help you defeat the Chaos Dwarfs. So after leaving the cave, speak to Veldaban, who is hiding next to Make within the crowd of protesters east of the palace, to start the final cutscene. So, during the cutscene, the directors will address the protesters from the balcony and reveal that for the last several hundred years, the Concertium was able to justify rule over Keldagrim, but recent events have changed that, and they've opened up the records chamber in order to crown a new king. Hreindmar will excitedly wait for his name to be called, but instead, as the records have been altered, Veldaban has been declared the heir to the throne. Veldaban will be crowned king, and will claim it's the easiest thing to do, and only required a few strokes to change. Hreindmar will refuse to accept that Veldaban is the rightful heir, and maddened, he will then threaten to take over the city with his army of Chaos Dwarfs. Just as he does so, a black-clad soldier comes bearing the news that the trolls have defeated the Chaos Dwarf army, and Veldaban orders the Blackguard to seize Hreindmar, but he manages to slip away through the crowd and disappears. The scene will then change to the top floor of the palace, where Mick apologises and hands the crown to Veldaban, who grudgingly takes it, becoming king of the dwarfs. And after the cutscene, it will come up, "Congratulations, you have completed the King of the Dwarves quest. You're awarded 2 quest points, 40,000 mining experience, 50,000 smithing experience, and 55,000 strength experience. You'll get a new gravestone option, which is a Royal Dwarven gravestone. Access to the lava flow mine. You have the ability to lift a big rock if you have level 90 strength, so you can go back and do that if you don't. 2 treasure under keys and 2 hearts of ice." So there we are, quest complete. So overall, again, with these quests, not at all difficult, just very lengthy, as there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of moving around to do and all that. But we're coming up to the end of the Dwarven quest line now. So obviously this quest is required to complete the final quest, which is the Birthright of the Dwarves, and it's the final quest in the Rise of the Red Axe series. But overall, the XP rewards are not too bad from this quest, and the big rock option to be able to lift it up, that's just a fun little sort of like cosmetic and that, so you can actually take the big rock with you anywhere and sort of demonstrate lifting it up in front of other people. But yeah, overall, I don't think you'll run into any problems following my guide. However, if you do get stuck at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Thanks everyone, bye bye.